I'd like to read a list of core tenets developed by a group of anti-racist educators who were on a panel at the Race and Pedagogy Conference in Tacoma last year. Here are the tenets. Racism exists today in both traditional and modern forms. Racism is an institutionalized, multi-layered, multi-level system that distributes unequal power and resources between white people and people of color as socially identified, and disproportionately benefits whites. All members of society are socialized to participate in the system of racism, albeit within varied social locations. All white people benefit from racism, regardless of intentions. No one chose to be socialized into racism, so no one is quote unquote bad, but no one is neutral. To not act against racism is to support racism. Racism must be continually identified, analyzed, and challenged. No one is ever done. The question is not, did racism take place, but rather, how did racism manifest in that situation? The racial status quo is comfortable for most whites. Therefore, anything that maintains white comfort is suspect. The racially oppressed have a more intimate insight via experiential knowledge of the system of race than their racial oppressors. However, white professors will be seen as having more legitimacy, thus positionality must be intentionally engaged. Resistance is a predictable reaction to anti-racist education and must be explicitly and strategically addressed.
We galvanize white privilege in the form of curriculum, exalting white canons of fine art, literature, theory, and scientific thinking. More so, if we don't examine how those canons are made. I believe we are capable of unlearning the habits of mind that perpetuate white privilege. What I am uncertain of is our collective will to examine those habits.
This I believe. I believe Evergreen can create a more vibrant community of anti-racist activists on our staff and faculty and among our students, if we break our 45-year pattern of occasionally turning toward these issues briefly with deep but short-run commitment that fades, fades, and fades. Our words of action disappearing into the background as we return to business as usual. Breaking this cycle will take sustained and stubborn leadership from our administration and at least a doubling of our staff and faculty of color. This I do believe.
Personally, I am committed to making Evergreen a more student-ready campus, and as provost, I am committing resources to help train our faculty to be able to promote equity and inclusion in the classroom and outside the classroom.
I carry with me the legacy of boarding schools, and I carry with me the legacy of adoption, forced adoption. And I'm here because I refuse to continue to be assimilated. I refuse. And I refuse to let whiteness consume me. And I'm going to say that word explicitly, whiteness. I refuse. I refuse for my mother. I refuse for her mother, for my grandfather, for my ancestors, for my brothers and sisters, my relatives today. I refuse.
And Lord, we repent, Lord, on behalf of all of our people, Lord, as an English person, God, here in America, Lord, I repent on behalf of the colonialism, Lord, and the oppression that came, God, I repent. And Lord, I ask for your forgiveness, God, for putting in our hearts such hatred that we would perpetrate slavery. Lord, that we would perpetrate injustice, that we would perpetrate prejudice, God, even to this very day, even in our legal system. God, I ask for your forgiveness, God. Forgive us, God, forgive us. And Lord, we stand here. It's my honor to wash my brother's feet, God. It's my honor to go with humility and say, please forgive me. Please forgive us. Please forgive us for the way that we have treated you. Please forgive us for the fear that we've had in our eyes when we've seen you. Please forgive us for the hatred, for the suspicion that we have.